Welcome to the Asian Idols channel. I'm Cherry. Today, our video features the following exciting content. What do you think about
the
this
top
topic?
10 disastrous performances of 2025 Unveiled, when acting fails and capital miscalculates. The 2025 Roundup's final entry. The 10 worst performances of the year. Tonight marks the final installment of our 2025 annual Roundup series, the 10 worst performances. This piece is released last every year not to manufacture controversy, but because without exception, the number of disastrous performances always exceeds the available slots. The overflow is real, the list crowded. Idol dramas remain the hardest hit genre, and the faces involved are, once again, painfully familiar. Narrowing the list down to 10 is never easy. Before proceeding, however, one recurring question must be addressed once more. Why do we call the positive list 10 best actors, yet insist on using the term worst performances rather than worst actors when discussing failures? This is a question asked every year, and the 2025 list happens to offer the clearest possible answer. Let us begin with two examples. The first is Jokey in Endless Horizon Is My Love. Is Jokey a bad actor? Clearly not. His performance in A Little Reunion was solid, and without basic acting competence, he would not have been cast in Tian's Huang's Birdsong Lingering. Precisely because of this, his collapse in Endless Horizon deserves serious discussion, not as a judgment of his ability, but as a case study in catastrophic miscasting amplified by genre mismatch. This is a comedy deeply rooted in Northeastern Chinese sensibilities. Jokey, a non-Northeastern actor, is required to portray a Northeastern Gen Z character who is also performing within the story as a live streamer. 3 layers of performance stack on top of each other. Failure at any level destabilizes the entire structure. He fails at the very first layer. His understanding of Northeastern life reduces it to constant facial exaggeration and forced humor, turning natural looseness into visible strain. Every scene feels labored. With a weak script already offering no support, all of his latent issues, previously unnoticed in other genres, are fully exposed. This is why the performance belongs on the list. But labeling him a bad actor would be neither accurate nor fair. The second example is more contentious, Xiao Zhan. Historically, we have never formally praised his acting. Yet in 2025, he is arguably one of the most improved actors of the year. Idol crafting showed meaningful progress in rhythm and emotional control. That progress deserves acknowledgement. Precisely for this reason, his performance in The Legend of the Condor Heroes, The Great Hero, cannot be ignored. Our solution is deliberate restraint. We criticize the performance in Condor Heroes, not the actor as a whole. That distinction is the guiding principle of this list. As always, this remains one perspective, not an authoritative verdict. This year, we deliberately discuss only 9 performances, leaving 1 slot open. If you believe we have missed someone, feel free to nominate. If you disagree, rational discussion is welcome. The Legend of the Condor Heroes, The Great Hero. Xiao Zhan, Zhuang Dafei. When evaluating acting in a wuxia film, 2 elements matter most: heroism, reflected in physical movement, and emotion, the motivation behind the character's chivalry. Condor Heroes fails on both fronts. It contains almost no functional martial arts choreography, resembling a visual effects film more than a wuxia work. Strip away the added effects, and what remains are actors suspended on wires, making disconnected motions. There is little left to perform. With action unavailable as a foundation, emotional continuity becomes essential. Yet the film's romantic and war narratives remain largely disconnected, linked only by coincidence. For actors, this means no stable emotional anchor. Without strong fundamentals, collapse becomes inevitable. Xiao Zhan's issue is constant tension. His facial muscles remain clenched throughout the film, tightened lips, widened eyes, with no variation between scenes. Dialogue delivery is particularly stiff. In the Peach Blossom Island confrontation, lines such as "Masters, I will avenge you" are spoken word by word, not driven by emotion. The only scene that partially works is the mother's death, an isolated sequence with high emotional density that masks underlying issues through sheer intensity. Zhuang Dafei fares worse. She does not deliver a single fully convincing scene. The most jarring moment is her fight with Huo's hangover Guojing. After winning, she looks down with a smug, almost mocking expression, a complete misunderstanding of Wang Rong's character, regardless of whether the choice came from direction or personal interpretation. Endless Horizon is my love. Jokey. Northeastern comedy has an unforgiving rule: regional authenticity cannot be faked. Even a masterpiece like The Long Season relied on Northeastern actors to carry its texture. Expecting authenticity in a poorly written script like Endless Horizon was unrealistic from the outset. Jokey mistakes liveliness for constant performance. Life disappears, replaced by layers of self-conscious acting. Every level collapses. Hard to Coax. Bijingding. Across both Hard to Coax and Sleepless Day, Bijingding shows stagnation, if not regression. Hard to Coax, as a low-quality modern idol drama, offers limited room for character building, making his weaknesses even more visible. Sang Yan's archetype, cold, restrained, quietly controlling outcomes, is functional. Bijingding, however, plays only the surface. Cold becomes emotional absence. Restraint becomes inertia. His gaze never connects, even with his own mother. This preserves visual tastefulness, but eliminates all emotional access. Sang Yan becomes an abstract mood rather than a human being. Empty and Falls. Why River Bamboo Pavilion? Liu Shishi. If emptiness is a modern problem, Liu Shishi's issue in historical idol dramas is extreme formalization. In Why River Bamboo Pavilion, she employs essentially one mode, blank expression at all times, occasionally tilting her head or smiling faintly when intensity is required, yet with no emotional flow. Side characters with minimal screen time display more credibility through small details. This has become a long-standing issue rather than an isolated failure. SHH, the king is hibernating. Esther Yu shoots in. Esther Yu's performances have become fully templated, identical voice, gestures, emotional beats across projects. Distinctions between characters vanish. Sweet, cute, and adorable are not flaws. But when they become the only tools available, character collapses into a label. All narrative functions, dreams, ambition, growth, are rendered meaningless. Grant me radiance. Jalousie. The term most frequently used online to describe her acting here is pseudo-human, and it is alarmingly precise. Everything appears artificial: expression, movement, gaze. This genre demands acting to sustain its emotional contradictions. Jalousie remains detached throughout, never transitioning between states. This is neither life nor drama. The Prisoner of Love. Liu Yuning. As an idol drama male lead, his performance fails at the most basic level. Emotional shifts are conveyed only through fixed facial combinations. Iconic scenes rely entirely on audience imagination rather than acting. When emotional progression exists only in bullet comments, performance has already failed. Silent Kill. Janine Chang, Zhang Juning. This is a textbook case of a capable actor dragged down by a disastrous script. Action scenes work. Narrative scenes do not. Excessive intensity turns the character into something barely human. This reflects a broader issue: short drama-style storytelling erasing character depth. Even strong actors end up producing bad performances. This is the 2025 Worst Performances list. It is not a reckoning, nor mockery, but a record of systemic failure. When scripts, casting, and genre judgment repeatedly collapse, even good actors can be pushed into failure. And that is the real warning.
If this is your first time watching our channel, please hit the subscribe button to support us. Thank you.